I am Nick Casella, and I started with acting like a lot of people do with a theater company in Ann Arbor called Young People's Theater. And while I was there, I got interest in doing tech. For this version of Julius Caesar, we really focused on the violence for this production. This production was broken into 3 episodes. So episode 1 focused on the violence of the assassination, episode 2 focused on the violence of the mob, and episode 3 focused on the violence of the war. I decided as a motif, we would focus on the fire of violence and the kind of when it goes from kind of this small conspiratorial candlelight of meeting in these dark rooms and shadowy meetings and all that, to the absolute explosion of violence that is the mob, to what would be the equivalent of a massive forest fire that is the war, and just the escalation of that violence throughout the piece.
This has been a different but very interesting process, and really fun to be back in here with all of COVID going on. But in a lot of ways, it has kind of limited the way things usually feel. It's harder to kind of present things sometimes. Not necessarily for me, actually. As a lighting designer, it's kind of easier to show a virtual representation of what I'm building. But I know for like set design and stuff, it's nice to have a physical model to show off. And we've just had to think really creatively about how we're doing things, about how we're staging things to keep people, socially distanced. So it's just trying to be really mindful of how we can pull off something that is live and in person while maintaining the safety of everybody involved.
Lighting can really change how an audience sees a show. Really, as a lighting designer, I get to kind of transform the scene and the mood in whatever way is needed for the scene without having to actually change out scenery.